Okay, good morning. I'm going to call to order the annual shareholders meeting of Perimeter Park West Incorporated, and we're going to begin with a legal public statement.
Yes, sir. For the record, I want to note that this is the annual shareholders meeting and the annual Board of Directors meeting for Perimeter Park West. This meeting is being broadcast via video teleconference pursuant to Kentucky Revised Statute Section 61.826 and may be viewed by the public at the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority offices located at 1260 Louisville Road, Frankfort, Kentucky. It is also being broadcast to the public via Facebook. I ask if you are speaking and not appearing by video, please identify yourself before talking. In the event the video or audio broadcast is interrupted, we will attempt to reestablish a connection. If a connection cannot be reestablished within 30 minutes, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled to another date.
Thank you. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. Piercy,
Here.
Ms. Hampton,
Here.
and Mr. Fulkerson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is to canvass, and then the next item after that is to count the shareholders vote. We're going to do these together. We have shareholder vote certificates, proxy vote certificates signed by Steve Willer for both the C and the K boards. Both have cast all their votes for Lynn Hampton, myself, and Jim Tony Fulkerson to be on the PPW board. And I will seek a motion to accept those proxy votes from the shareholders.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And then I will seek a motion to accept the results of the shareholder vote as counted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. And with that, our agenda for the annual shareholders meeting is complete. And I will declare this meeting adjourned. And now we will call to order the PPW annual directors meeting. And we've already had the legal public statement just a few moments ago. Sherry, you want to do the roll call?
Sure. Mr. Piercy,
Here.
Ms. Hampton,
Here.
and Mr. Fulkerson.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Vicky, the review of the actions of the PPW shareholders meeting.
Yes, as you just heard a few seconds ago, at the PPW annual shareholders meeting, the new board of directors was elected, and it is Mr. Piercy, Ms. Hampton, and JT Fulkerson.
Okay. Any questions or discussions on that item? And if not, we will move on to the election of president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary of the board of directors from today until the next annual meeting in 2026. So we will begin with president, and I will seek nominations for president of PPW.
I'll nominate Keith Piercy.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion or nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. The second item is nominations for vice president of PPW.
I nominate Lynn Hampton.
JT, let me say I'm probably going to be treasurer and secretary. So just
Okay.
so how about if you take that back and I nominate you?
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. We have a motion for JT for vice president. I will second that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Congratulations, JT. Next item is treasurer. So I will seek nominations for treasurer of PPW.
I'd like to nominate Lynn Hampton for treasurer.
I will second. Any further nominations? All those in favor of Lynn being treasurer?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. And then the final item is Secretary of PPW. Now, Sherry, you've been secretary for a couple years, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So we will seek nominations for Secretary of PPW.
I nominate Sherry.
I second.
All right, any further nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And that is the end of our nominations, I think, Vicky, correct?
That is, and I just to note for the record, I will now, with the Secretary of State's office, like I have to do the annual filing, I will now file with the Secretary of State's office.
Okay, good deal. Next item, approval of minutes from our February 11th meeting, and I'll seek a motion.
So moved.
Those are minutes, Keith. So can JT actually make the motion since he wasn't there?
He can if he had reviewed everything. He's just saying.
Okay.
um,
Okay, sounds good. Then I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? And that motion carries. And we're up to the review of PPW policies, and Rebecca and Connie are both on for that.
I think I'm going to take this one. So we provided all of the PPW policies for you guys to review. We try to do this every year at about this time. Staff is not making any recommendations to changes on this. With the exception of reviewing these, I have found a pile of typos and misspelling, one or two of those kinds of things. So for example, if you're looking at the procurement policy here under policy, we have that last line says America, PPW period agents. Somebody did a find and replace for PPW Inc. and remove the ink, but didn't remove the dot. And so we have that throughout. The next policy is the contracts policy. And at one place in that, we call it the contact policy. I would like your permission to go through and fix these. Do you want me to bring back those changes, or do you want me to just send them to Keith with those changes?
I'll make a motion that you just send them to Keith.
Second.
Okay. Otherwise, nothing significant, no important changes on all of this.
Okay. Let's see here. Lynn, would you like to also move that we continue the policies as written?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that after correcting for typos, that we continue the policies as written.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we're up to the update on building maintenance projects, and I see Ann's with us.
Yes, so we had a busy spring. Everybody's aware of all the storms in the area. We were not exempt from that. We did see some standing water that leaked underneath the windows on one side of the building. And we have addressed that through our landscaping. I've included pictures for you if somebody wants to scroll down just a little bit to kind of show what we did. We had to pull the mulch back. And then on that second picture on the right, we sealed along the windows and the building between the windows and the foundation, inserted a drainage pipe and then stones. What was there before was mulch, and it was allowing the water to just pool up against the building and then seep in slowly. So that's been addressed. Any questions with that? That would probably be the biggest change that was unexpected. Anybody have any questions? All the prices and everything are on the completed projects there. I think it turned out really good. I think it looks nice.
Looks way better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good. So that was handled very quickly, which was good. We've had normal HVAC, very busy time with HVACs, rooftop units going out. Of course, it's aging. So those have been replaced as needed, repaired as needed. That's going to continue. We are scheduled for the HVAC unit for the server room to be installed this May. We do not have a firm date yet, but it's supposed to be delivered pretty soon. Does anybody have any questions on building maintenance?
Don't see any. You want to move on to contracts?
Sure. So, in compliance with the procurement policy, it was time to rebid the director and office liability insurance. And so those were addressed. We're not required to have 3 bids just because of the low amount for this contract, but we were able to get some feedback. We had people that declined to bid. They're not, in business for this type of insurance. Looking at what we could find and having comparable coverage to what we already have, we did advance with the Chubb, which is what we've had in the past, our current carrier for the flat renewal rate of $1,265.05. And this is just provided for your information.
Okay, any questions or comments? And if not, is that it, Ann?
That is it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Review of financial statements for the quarter ended March 31st. Liz and Connie are both listed for that.
Morning. I'll take that. We will begin with the review of our financial statements as prepared by our bookkeepers, Harrod and Associates. The first statement we have is a statement of assets, liabilities, and net assets on a modified cash basis. So for the period, the 9-month period ending March 2025, our total assets are right at 5.8 million. Our next statement is the statement of revenues and expenses. We have comparative totals, so we will be looking at the third set of columns, the 9 months ended March 31st, 2025. This period we have a total revenues of just over 740,000 with a detail of all of our expenses for the year. Our total operating expenses thus far are at 527,000 with our net income at 213,569. And finally, our statement of cash flows for the period 9 months ended March 31st. We are currently sitting at the end of this period with 855,000 just over in our 2 accounts at Community Trust. Any questions about the financial statements as presented?
Looks like no questions, so we can move on to the dividend distribution.
Okay, just as we did last year, I prepared a memo because it is our intent, as per our policies adopted by the board, to pay a dividend of any excess in our combined accounts after the June 30 reconciliation, any excess of $500,000 of the combined PPW accounts. So we ask that you approve the intent to pay this dividend based on those reconciled balances after we receive the June 30 bank statements and Connie and I reconcile them. We are on track with the rest of our budget. I can tell you if we have the expected HVAC expense that Ann was talking about before the end of the year, our dividend will be significantly lower than it has been in the past couple of years, but we should still be on track to pay a dividend for the fiscal year 2025. So we're just requesting your permission to act on our intent to issue this dividend after the June statements are reconciled.
So moved.
Second, but if you could do this, Liz, since this is JT's first meeting, I know we've gone over some of the unexpected expenses this year. JT, would you be interested in hearing that and why the dividends are kind of expected to be a little bit lower?
That would be great.
Sure, I
we're
can
gonna-
talk, right.
I'm sorry, Liz, can we talk about that during the budget period, Lynn? We have it,
Okay.
it'll be a little bit easier to see when we're looking at the budgets, but we do have
That sounds
that.
good.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
And for JT's benefit, what happens is we will provide the detail information to the board members, and Lynn will be responsible for approving it before we actually execute it. But this is just your all's intent to act on our intent to pay this dividend.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. And now we're up to the budget to actual review for the quarter ending March 31st.
I'm sorry,
Right.
can I add one more thing to that, Keith? Lynn, as treasurer, Liz will be reaching out to you in order to make that dividend payment. So she'll need you to take some action with that. So she'll
Will
talk to
that
you.
be signing a check or are we wiring?
We wire.
Wire.
Okay,
So
You just need me to-
to approve it.
sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. So our next item is the review of budget to actual, and this presentation gets a little harder to read each quarter. Apologies for that, but we are on track in almost all categories to stay at or under budget, with the exception of our HVAC service and repairs, which is under the 7,400. We had budgeted 9,000 and we are significantly over right now at 23,000. We had some major repairs that we were actually able to fix some units that didn't have to be replaced, but they resulted in some higher than normal expected repairs for that budget, for that line item. So our spending is a little over budget so far, but we are under budget and still within our budget overall. And I don't think this does not, this is a informational only.
Correct.
Does
Any
anyone have any-
questions or comments on the budget to actual? Okay, and if not, we can move on to the PPW fiscal year 26 budget.
I think I'm going to take this one. If you go to the next page, Sherry, for your all's convenience, we gave you what's really difficult to read here, but we gave you like a history of spending 21 to 24, actual and anticipated for 25, and then a proposed budget in the blue column for 26. But Sherry, let's go to the next page, and then increase the size of this a little bit for us. So starting, let's look towards the top of this page, Sherry. Looking at 7220, I'm just going to point out a couple of oddities for us. 7220 is the non-budgeted expense. That has been used for per diems, but we've now created 7225 for per diems. What we used it for last year was the insight valuations of the property appraisal, which I believe that you guys have asked for that to happen every 3 years or no more than every 3 years. So we're zero on that one as well. Moving down a little bit into the 7,300 ongoing services. There are notes on this page to kind of give you an idea. So looking at 7340 landscape, 7350 snow removal, both of those will be rebid in 26, as will the bookkeeping contract. So we've increased the budget slightly in those areas. The 7370 is significantly down because we had talked to you guys about the security monitoring. The KBPA was going to replace badge and cameras and update that system, and then they were going to take over payments for that. That has happened, so that category is decreased. Moving down to repairs and maintenance, the top four are all different types of fire, sprinklers, alarm systems, that kind of stuff, and they were over budgeted for in 25. So we've corrected those in 26. 7450 is the generator maintenance. We have increased that one significantly because we expect some maintenance. Donnie Norman is our contractor in that, just for building maintenance, and he thinks the generator is going to have some more expensive maintenance. It's just required, but not every year. Liz talked to you a little bit about the HVAC. So 7460, 7465, 7460 is going to get rebid again in 26. We neglected to put that on the note, but it will be rebid. So we've increased that a little bit for the annual maintenance. So because we were really struggling going back and forth a few years ago, we decided to just have an annual contract for somebody to do all the basic maintenance for the HVAC. All the HVACs in the building are aging, and they're all being replaced kind of slowly over multiple years as they break. So we're not replacing them ahead of time. So again, Liz talked about 7465 being closer to $25,000, and it was budgeted for none. If you'll roll down a little bit, Sherry, and go to the capital improvements, there's also HVAC replacement. We had budgeted 70,000, and we spent 98,500 on those full replacements. So we're going to keep it at 70,000. We think this was a little bit of an anomaly year, but HVAC is just continues to be kind of a surprise pieces. Rolling back up into the 7,400s, Sherry, the bottom line there, 74, 76 is capital carpet replacement and cleaning. That's just cleaning. We don't have capital carpet replacement here. We have once a year, people come in and clean all the floors and all the carpets. That service has significantly increased in price over the last 2 or 3 years. In 7,600, we already talked about the HVAC replacement. The second one is unbudgeted UPS HVAC replacement, May and June. We came to you guys at the last meeting in February and said, we talked about the HVAC systems that are connected through the UPS in the server room for our clients, KPPA. They're failing. They have a 2-node failover HVAC, and we were using the parts on 2 to keep one up and running. If the air goes out in the server room, then service is down. We have to take down the computers, those kinds of things. So we escalated as an emergency and talked to you about how expensive that's going to be. It's about $304,000. And we had originally planned to split it into 2 fiscal years, equipment in May, June of this year, and installation. We were going to hold the equipment and wait for installation into July. And we just feel like there's too much risk on that. So the equipment was supposed to arrive last week. It is still not in. So we still may end up having to pay for this in 2 fiscal years, depending on how quickly it's coming, but they don't anticipate that. They do anticipate that it's going to come. But again, we've talked to our shareholders, we've talked to you guys multiple times about the impact that's probably going to have on the dividend. And everybody, while it's not our preference, they understand that's the way this goes up and down. So that is reflected in under 7,600 under budget, unbudgeted UPS HVAC. That's the $304,000. It is a capital improvement, so it's reflected a little differently. Other projects, we only have $15,000 proposed for this. I just want to take this opportunity to make you aware that at some point we're going to have to reseal the parking lot, which is another $300,000 job. So again, I'm going to propose that we do that in waves and separate it, but not in fiscal 26. Okay, are there any specific questions about any of the line items or the intent for fiscal 26?
I'll just, I don't have a question, but I'll just say this is the reason, I know we've discussed this before, that we keep a fairly significant cash balance so we can pay for these things without having to go back to 2 separate boards, have 2 separate meetings and try to get money that way. So to me, this is the much more logical way to take care of this. And obviously it does affect the dividend, but these things have to be done one way or the other. So you're not gaining much doing it the other way. So
I agree with you.
correct. Okay. Any more questions or comments on the FY26 budget? And if not, I will seek a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. And Liz is back with us with ratification of lawful acts of officers, directors, and agents.
Good morning again. You should have received in board books just the memo and the Excel or copies of Excel spreadsheets detailing for January, February, March expenses and that were paid by PPW. The copies of the actual statements and actual checks should have been received via secure email each month. So we are just seeking your ratification of these approved expenses for the 3-month period, January, February, March 2025.
All right, seek a motion to approve.
let
moved.
Jade, I think, okay, second,
Good. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you, Liz. We're up to other business. Rebecca, you're down for this?
I only have one item. I just wanted to give some kudos to these agents that are here on this call and what they've done. I just presented the budget. I did very little work on that. And Liz and Connie did all of that. We have 2 accounting agents. That's Connie Davis and Liz Smith. That's why you hear from them so much on all of those people. Ann Baker is the one who coordinates through the facilities manager that you hired, which is Donnie Norman, and we keep Ann busy with facilities issues. She really wears 1,000 hats here, and I appreciate her. Vicki Hale is our legal agent who keeps us going with the contracts, and Andrea is her second kind of in training for that. Oh my gosh, am I leaving somebody out? Well, Sherry, of course, is your secretary and helps us keep everything straight and reminds us when things are coming up. I just really appreciate this team. This is it's different than the other things that we do in as part of KBPA employees. Mr. Fulkerson, for your advantage, for your information, because the agents are KBPA employees, we get contractually with our leasees, they have a reduced rent so that they can account for the time that's PPW time that the agents spent. So that's how we account for that. Anyway, I just kudos to this team. It's a good team and I appreciate them.
Rebecca or Keith, I'd just like to add one thing there. I think this is the first time we've been with Liz since she had the recognition. Liz, was it 30 years that you've been with the organization?
Yes, 30 this past October.
Yeah,
Awesome.
congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good point, Rebecca. Thanks to everybody who helps out on these meetings and keeps the buildings in shape where everybody can work in it without too much difficulty. So appreciate everything you guys do. Let's see, any other business? If not, we're up to scheduling the next PPW board meeting. Sherry, what are we looking at for a time frame?
And it looks like that'll be in September. You all typically do a Tuesday, so we have the 9th, 16th, and the 23rd.
Okay. And those are days, I assume, that have no other board conflicts?
Correct.
Okay. So we have 9, 16, and 23. Do we have, I can do any of those. Do we have any preferences?
I'm open on all of them.
Okay, JT?
They're all good for me too.
Well, let's do the early one. How about September 9th at 10 a.m.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Sound good? All right, folks, we have made it through our agenda in exactly 30 minutes. So
Awesome.
this was a pretty long agenda and we got through it in pretty good time. So I appreciate everybody's attendance and participation as always, and we'll see you at the next meeting. We're
I
adjourned.
appreciate it. Thank y'all a lot for helping me.